my YouTube channel once again. I'm thrilled to be here and finally with one of the last looks that I'm going to be doing for the Too Faced trilogy. So if you have been following me on my YouTube channel, you guys know that I started by reviewing the Too Faced new eyeshadow palettes, the Country palette, the Cat Eye, and the Rock and Roll palette. And I definitely got a lot of requests that I should be doing a look for each palette. So this is the one that I was missing, which is the Rock and Roll. And if you're new to my channel, you should definitely go and check out the other looks. And if you are not familiar with this Rock and Roll palette, then you should see also the reviews and swatches if you're interested, or if you are undecided whether or not to buy it. I cannot advise you not to buy it, because it's just gorgeous. It's a beautiful palette, and with this palette we achieved this look. So if you're interested in how to achieve this Rock and Roll palette, come along with me and keep on watching. Alright, so for this look I have already applied my foundation just to save a little bit of time, and you guys know that there's a whole video just to show you how I do my foundation. So for this time I use my Matchmaster from MAC. I use color 40. And then I went ahead and did a little bit of contouring with my Nars. This is the Matte Multiple in Vietnam, and this is how it looks like. So again, I have a full video on how to do a little bit of contouring. So I just went ahead here and blended with my beauty blender to have a little contouring in my cheeks, a little bit of my forehead, and on my chin. I didn't really contour my nose because I have a very small nose, so I always skip that because I don't want it to look even smaller, and I'm fine with my nose, so I leave it like that. So going to the eyes, I'm going to look for a eyeshadow primer and base, and this is going to be my Painterly Pink Pot. I'm going to go with a very light hand of it, and I'm going to use a synthetic brush for that. I'm going to be using my Real Techniques, and this is the setting blur brush. I'm going to go with a little bit of my Painterly Pink Pot, and I'm just going to go all over my eyes. And this definitely conceals your eye area from any discoloration. You can also use your fingers. Since I want a very light hand of that, I'm using this brush, but you can definitely use your fingers too. Alright, once you have applied your Painterly Pink Pot, we're going to use a dark base. And what I mean by base is we are going to give it a little bit of color behind the eyeshadow so that the color pops up stronger. So as a base for this look, I'm going to be using my Jumbo eyeshadow pencil, and this is in color dark brown, which is just a dark brown. So if you don't have this, you can definitely go ahead and just use any gel liner that you have, or any creamy brown pencil that you have. So I'm going to go with this all along my lash line, and I'm doing a thick line. So just go with that. After you have applied that, I'm going to use a small, this is what I would say a synthetic brush, and I'm going to drag that a little bit towards the lid, kind of smudging that towards your lid. Now just keep in mind, do not overpass your crease. If you know a little bit about painting walls, if you have a light color and you come in with a darker color, you would need several coats to really have it true to its color and backwards. So that's exactly why I am using a dark base, to make sure that I have a nice base for my eyeshadows to stick to and to come on clean to their colors. Alright, now I'm going to go with a flat brush, and I'm going to use Pop, which is this color right here. It's kind of a dark burgundy color. And again, I'm going to swipe just a tiny bit, and I'm going to apply that to my lid. And I'm just dabbing in the color, packing it, because it has some glitter to it, so you don't want that to fall out and you'll have a little bit of fallout when with glitter eyeshadows. So the more you pack it on, the less fallout you will end up with. Alright, once you have applied that, and I know I look like a maniac right now, and it's part of the process, it will look good, I promise. You will use a blending brush, and I'm using a blending brush from Sigma. This is E25, and I'm just going to come and blend the same one without anything. I just have a clean brush, and I'm just blending it to make sure that there's no hard edges. So just come here and blend it out. And again, no product, just blending it. Remember that you have your Painterly Pink Pot, so that will also help you blend. So you don't really need right now anything else. Now that you have that, I'm going to use a pencil brush, and I'm going to go with Pop. And Pop is the gold eyeshadow. And I'm going to use that right on my inner tear dot. I'm going to drag the light with Pop. And I'm going to be quite generous. So make sure that you go right into your tear dot and then drag in the color inwards. And then make sure that you blend it as you go with the rest of the color that you put on your lid. Alright. Now I'm going to go with a blending brush, and this is again a clean blending brush. I'm going to go with Glam Rock, and Glam Rock is a very unique color. It's kind of a taupey green color, so I'm going to grab a little bit of that, tap off the excess, and I'm going to apply it right on my crease. So I'm going to come here right in the crease, and I'm going to come back and forth. I'm going a little bit high, but not to the point where my eyebrow is almost there. So you want to leave some space, and if you see my arch, I made it a little bit higher than normal. So if you can play with your eyebrows, that will also help, but you don't want to go way too far into your crease. So it has to be lifted, but not that far away. So just make sure that you are kind of halfway in between. So come back and forth with that color. Make sure you're blending it really well. Really well. Alright, so once that you have that, I'm going to use a angle brush, and the one that I always use is my Sigma E70, and I'm going to go with a mixture of Rockabilly and New Romantic. So these are the last and the first row. So I'm mixing both, and I'm going to highlight my brow bone with those. And I'm mixing both because my complexion is not very light but not that tan, so I need something medium in between, and I don't want to use more of the glitter stuff. So if I use New Wave, it's too glittery for my like, so I wanted to go back and forth with these two colors to get the right tone. So if you're very fair, you may want to stick with the lighter one, and if you are a little bit tanner, then you want to stick with the darker one, and if you're kind of in between like me, then you can mix and mingle both. Alright, so now for my lower lash line, I'm going to go with, you can either choose which color you prefer for your lower lash line, because you can use either one. You can use Punk, which is the dark green, or you can use Heavy Metal, which is the blue. I tend to like more blue than green, so I would use my blue, which is Heavy Metal. And for that, I'm going to use a pencil brush, and I'm going to come right on my lower lash line. Now, this is a rock kind of look, so you want to be a bit dramatic, so loosen up a little bit your fears and go in with color. So I'm going to go a little bit far than I would normally would with my lower lash line, and I'm gonna smoke it out even more than usual, just a little bit. If you don't feel too confident going too far, then just go as far as you feel confident enough, but don't be afraid of color. Alright, now make sure that you clean very well your brush, because I'm going to use exactly the same one. So once you're sure that your brush is clean, I'm going to use Ska, which is this dark brown here. And I'm going to go underneath the line that I placed on my eye, and that is going to help me blend the transition between my skin and the dark color. And now you want to drag that a little bit towards the lash line and go a little bit further up. Right, with a clean domed stiff brush, I'm going to come right underneath and blend everything so that it looks smooth and there's no harsh lines and the transition is well done. Alright, now I'm going to be using my Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Pencil. This is in Pearl version, and for me, this Urban Decay pencil is the darkest you can get on black. And I'm going to go right on my waterline. I'm going to try to get on my upper waterline, so that will be yucky for you to watch. Now with a smudger brush, I'm going to come back to my waterline and smudge a little bit that to make sure that it looks smooth. And I'm going to go with the same pencil. I'm going to do my liner. I'm not going to use liquid liner or anything. So I'm just going to go following the natural curves of my lashes. I'm going to go with a flat angle brush, and I'm going to go into the pencil that I draw, and I'm going to start smudging that line. And with the same pencil, I'm going to try to wing it out a little bit, not too much, just a little bit. And with the same thing that I have on my brush, with the same product, you're going to try to wing it. Now that does create a little bit of fallout because the eyeshadows themselves have a little bit of glitter, and when you rub it to smudge, it creates a little bit of fallout. So all you need to do is come with a fan brush and clean it up. It is not such a huge deal. Now after that, all you really need to do is curl your lashes, apply your mascara, put on some falsies, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I have come back and I have applied my falsies. One of them is still drying, but it will dry clear. So the last thing that I need to do is apply a little bit of concealer just to highlight a little bit that area, because otherwise it's going to look a little bit dark. So I'm going to use my Real Techniques setting brush, and I'm going to go with a color that's true to my skin or as close to my skin as possible. I'm going to be using Benefit Boing, and I use color 02. I'm going to swirl it around a little bit, and I'm going to go underneath. Now bear in mind that you have a lot of makeup very far away from your lashes, so try not to go way too into it. Now after you have done that, I'm just going to apply my blush and my highlighter. And for my blush, I'm going to go with my MAC Flirt and Tease, which is a dark burgundy color. I'm going to use a blush brush. This is F10 from Sigma, and I'm just going to go on the top of my cheeks very, very gently, and I'm just going to apply in the color. So try to smile and to apply it right on the tops of your cheeks. Right, now that I have applied my blush, I'm going to come and do my highlighting. And for this look, you don't want something that's too rosy, just because the look is not intended to be sweet and rosy. So I want something more into the golden side. And for this matter, I'm going to be using my Mally, and this is Effortless Airbrush, and it comes with this beautiful blush that I'm not going to use for this matter, but I'm going to use the highlighter just because it's a gorgeous golden color. If you can't see this, it's a gorgeous golden color, so it's exactly what I'm looking for. And I'm going to get my highlighter brush, and I'm going to go right on top of my cheeks, and then coming behind my ear, tops of my cheeks. That's exactly where you want to highlight. Now with the tip of it, I'm going to go on the center of my nose, Then I'm going to go on my forehead. I'm going to highlight right underneath my lips and chin, and on my cupid's bow. Now for my lips, I'm going to be using my Melted Berry. I'm going to go with Melted Berry all along my lips. So you can go ahead and leave it like this if you feel this is way too rock and roll for you. I'm going to kick it up a notch a little bit, and I'm going to be using my Smashbox. This is the Legendary Lipgloss collection that they had it on the store, and this is Vivid Violet, and I'm going to use it on top of my Melted Berry. Alright, so this is pretty much the look, and I really hope you guys like it. Let me give you guys a close-up so you can see a little bit of up close. And it's a really great look. Even if you wouldn't like to wear these lips, you can just wear the eyes with a nude lip, and it's awesome, guys. So this rock and roll palette, it's definitely rocking. Let me go up where I was so you can't see the full thing. And it's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous look. I do really think they did a great job with this palette. And if you're interested to watch a little bit of the other looks that I did one with the cat eyes, I did one with the contour palette, and this is the last one. So this one actually finishes up the trilogy of the new Too Faced eyeshadow palettes. Alright guys, so that's pretty much what I have for today. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos, and if you would like to follow me on Twitter or Facebook, I'll leave the links down below, and thumbs up if you liked the video. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!